Hello everyone, it's Thursday, live trading room is here. Today we have Cody. Cody, hi. How are you doing, Cody? Could you tell us what's your current prediction on the market? Did you check the volatility? I know the markets are super crazy right now, so maybe some insights from your side.
Yeah, I I think everyone knows the markets are pretty crazy, so there's not much more to add. But funnily enough, the lead-in volume is a lot lower today compared to other days in the week. Monday was extreme, but probably didn't react as much as I thought. I think the biggest factor is we just got to be mindful of that on how we approach the market. So, in times like this, I always recommend switching to micros or minis if you haven't got the account to do it to handle this kind of volatility, or reduce your contracts or lot sizes. And if you still mentally don't it's too volatile for you, then just switch to sim and just
Yeah.
practice and just ride it out. This will become the new norm. Unfortunately, war has happened in the past. And the markets went crazy, and it kind of settled the world, just accepted that there's war, and this will happen again. So it might be crazy for the first couple of weeks, and then the markets will sort of calculate the fact that, okay, there's war going on, so we must keep going.
Yeah, crazy things going on right now, and for all of our traders, it's important to stay disciplined, avoid emotional decisions because everything can change very fast. And we actually were discussing with Cody before the beginning of the stream that trading is kind of similar to golf, even though you do everything right. One incorrect bounce in 1 degree angle and yeah, you have a completely different situation than you expected. So for all of the traders watching us, stay patient, and of course with the Cody who will be guiding you today in the stream, you have way higher chances to avoid mistakes. So Cody, I'm giving you the word.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, guys, welcome from all around the world. I know we have a truly international audience here. So if you're new or first time, on Thursdays, I'm from Samurai Day Trading. We partner with TTP. It's a really nice collaboration initiative. I think we've been doing this, it's been well over a year. It might be 18 months or closer to 2 years now. So, no, probably about 18 months, but it's been a lot of fun. If you are new, let me know where you're from. It's always interesting to see where people are from, and welcome. And I just will say, just based on what we're talking about, I hope everyone is safe and their families are safe and well. There's a lot of things happening all around the world. So, yep, just sending my thoughts and love out to everyone who is with us or not with us, and obviously their friends and families in situations. So, all right, it just puts in perspective. We're very lucky that we get to do what we do, even if we aren't. Some of us aren't full time traders yet, or we're on the waiting. The fact that we get to sit down and trade, given the current circumstances around the world, we're very, very blessed and lucky to be able to do this. Anyway, enough said. Let's get on. So, because we do have some new traders and this is a collaboration, we always have to go through our compliance. Okay, so if you're wondering why we do a live trading room, okay, we just find a lot of, even if you look online and YouTube and stuff, the best traders are always the ones who trade live, because you get immediate proof of performance. So if you execute a trade, you're going to find out the result. You can't backtrack. You can't use AI. You can't, um, you know, massage the results, so to speak. It shows immediate proof of performance. It builds confidence in the strategy you're trying to trade. So if you are trading with real money or even in simulation, and you've studied and practiced a specific strategy, you're going to get immediate outcomes and, I guess, lessons from that, whether it worked, whether it didn't. It creates your stats. There's also nowhere to hide, like we said. It's live. It's the markets are moving, the charts are moving. So if I make a mistake, you'll all see it, which I try not to do. But also, if I call you into a trade, it's because I've called it live and not because I'm able to watch a replay and do it use the hindsight indicator, which would be lovely if we could ever have one of those. All right, so we run a live trading room 5 days a week. At the moment, we're covering the European Open and the US closed sessions. We are working on opening the US Open session in the meantime. And what we've done recently, I think it's been now nearly a month, is we've split our rooms. So during the European Open, we actually have a room dedicated just to the American markets and a room just dedicated to the European markets. So today we will be looking just at the European markets. The reason behind that is because we have found traders are having a lot more success because it's a lot easier for the moderator, i.e. me, to identify trade setups and adjust charts and markings on the run. So by reducing our focus, we're seeing a lot better results for students. It's also a lot easier for the moderators to sort of make money for themselves as well. Because believe it or not, doing this is quite difficult, especially if you're trying to take a trade for yourself. It's not as easy to manage as some may think. All right. So trading psychology, this is something I teach, trading psychology. It is the foundation to success in trading. I would go ahead and say, I reckon about 90% the reason people are successful in trading is due to their mindset rather than their actual strategy. It doesn't matter how good your strategy is. Half the battle is, can you actually stick to it? So what you want to do, find a strategy that you work. So test that out, build knowledge and expertise and profit using that strategy. All right. And this develops discipline. Okay. It also obviously gives you profit. You can then measure your performance. So a good tool is always do your strategy in live market replay or like simulation, like back testing, see what your stats are. If your live stats do not match or aren't close to your simulation stats, you need to ask yourself why. And most of the time it's due to mindset. Okay, they should be similar. This is over a large data piece. All right. Compliance, the boring stuff, but we have to do it. The Trading Pit offers demo accounts and challenges, okay? And all assets are purely virtual, okay? All content and information on the website is, and in this presentation is for informational purposes only and should not be interpreted as financial advice, okay? Past results achieved, no guarantee of future results, okay? You need to be able to understand the risks associated with trading. Trading futures is products on margin, all right? So essentially you're borrowing money from the clearinghouse, and it means you can trade a larger position in the market than you could otherwise, which magnifies your losses, but your profits, but also magnifies your losses. So it's not suitable for everyone, and it is deemed as high-level risk. All right, as I said, the information in this presentation is general information only. All right, any advice given or implied is general advice only. So past performance of this product is not and should not be taken as an indication of future performance. All right. Again, this presentation is for educational purposes only, and the opinions expressed are those of the presenter only. All right. So as we mentioned, trading leveraged instruments carry a significant risk and is not suitable for all investors. Okay. Investors may lose all or more of their initial investment. So only risk capital or money that will not impact your financial or lifestyle. Okay. So who am I, team? This is me. Used to be a physiotherapist. I'm still qualified, I think, in Australia. I used to work with elite teams and athletes. And I also 5 years working with war veterans and with special forces. And I was using exercise to treat physical and mental health issues. And I sort of saw myself as I thought trading was a way to it was the vehicle to get me to do things that I actually loved, which was traveling and living overseas. I now live in Bali. I've been trading for over 10 years, and I would say successfully for only 2 or 3 years. And I'm not afraid to admit that I've learned every single lesson the hard way. So my job now is to make sure I can try and fast track you guys and help you avoid learning too many of those lessons that I've done and had to learn a few times. So I'm a trading coach and presenter here at Samurai, and I'm also a trading mindset coach. In my train, trade, travel is my little my catchphrase. Okay, that's sort of what I live by. So I compete in CrossFit and also coach it on the side. I enjoy it. I enjoy teaching, and I love traveling. I've also got a cafe here in Bali, so keeps me very active. Why did I mention this bit? I just found, like we're discussing, I find elite athletes and elite personnel in their field. All right, it's mindset that gets them to that level, and I think that's something that it's the same with professional traders. It's all about mindset as well. Okay. All right. So if you want to follow my journey or have any questions, you can reach out to me on Instagram. I'm much more active on that than anywhere else. Facebook I hardly use, and WhatsApp I pretty much only use for business and ordering food. All right. We also have a YouTube channel, Samurai Day Trading. So we put up a video every single day highlighting the trade of the day or the lesson of the day. All right. So again, there's nowhere to hide on the live markets. If you do want more information, please just reach out, Samurai Day Trading at info@samuraidaytrading.com, or contact us through the website. Okay. We run, like I said, we run this LTR 5 days a week. And we also run monthly webinars to introduce you to what we do. All right. Okay, what to expect? I do need to update this slide. I said I'd do that last week and I forgot. So we're actually only running FDAX and FESX now. Okay, there is a separate US room. We split the room and we've had incredible results. All right, we're going to talk about candlestick analysis. Delta trading is something that's going really, really well at the moment. Ratios is something we're very, very, very fond of as well, an ABC step and trends. There's going to be a lot of language. I'd be very hungry without my cafe, Michael. That's for sure. What I use Gojek for is deliveries, just anything. I think yesterday I logged on and my headphones wouldn't work, so I ordered one, and it was new pair of headphones were delivered by the time we opened. That's what I love. All right. So just focus on what works, and as Lockie has always said, let the market do the heavy lifting. So let the market come to us. All right, that is us done. So let's have a little look at the charts now. So the daily volume is around 130,000. Now I get that from the daily ES chart. It's sitting around 126,000, but that'll jump up to around 130 by the time we start. So pretty high volatility. I think on Monday it was well in the 200s. You did not. That's funny. It was in the 200s. So extremely volatile. We don't have much news during our session today. Not much scheduled. Now, in saying that, there is tentative announcements through Europe. Okay, sometimes they do impact up. So what does that mean? It means that they're having meetings at the moment. Something might come out about what's been said in the meeting, and that could impact the market. It just depends. These ones, they're bond auctions, so it shouldn't hinder us too much. Behave, guys. But in saying that, guys, just given what is happening around the world, like 30 minutes ago, there's the announcement of an oil tanker being hit off the coast of Kuwait. There's a lot of things happening, and we could get global geopolitical announcements at any stage. All right. So just be mindful of that. And how do we deal with that, guys, is potentially switch to the micro or the mini, or you can reduce your contract or lot size depending on what platform you're trading on. Okay, so managing the risk is the key at the stage. So part of being a trader, you're not necessarily just a profit maker. You're a profit defender as well. So defend what you've earned. All right. Let's have a little look at the charts now, because I've done enough of the boring stuff. You'll see on FDAX, we've actually gapped down again. So you can see these two big gap downs. So this has occurred during the week. Is that urgent? So these are the two major gap downs. What we find, the Europeans will almost always close that gap, okay? But it's not always straight away. And I'll show you an example from here's one here. Here's your recent gap downs over here. All right, a gap down, close that one. And then this one took the better part of, what's that? Gap down here, that's mid-Jan. So this one took nearly 4 weeks or 5 weeks to close its gap. All right, now we've gapped down again on the 4-hour chart. You can see the gap here, much more clear. So it's not as big as Monday's, Tuesday's gap. Wednesday, so yesterday it closed here, opened here. So there was an actual gap down here. And it went and closed it straight away. So you'll see that more on the 60-minute chart when I get that up. All right. What I want you to highlight here on the 4 hours, we're actually starting to get nice ABC patterns long. We're starting to stair step back to the high side. All right, so maybe we will push up towards these gaps and close them today. Might not be during the session, although moving 500 points in a session does not seem out of reach anymore. I think this was Tuesday, was it? It moved nearly 800. So 500 seems like light work. If I come down to the 60-minute chart, you're going to see what I mean. This was the gap down yesterday, and we went straight into strong buys and bought all the way up. Again, now I did write down we were in strong buys, so we gapped down again and went into strong buys. It's now been rejected. Okay, we're going to have to investigate why, which means maybe it wants to fall short again, come down, maybe wants to push that low a little bit lower before starting to go long. At the end of the day, the market can do whatever it wants. That gap down could have come just from that bit of news, or sorry, that rejection could have come from that bit of recent news that we just discussed. Okay. All right, team. So we're just going to have to be mindful of that today. Okay. All right, so now we have a look at FESX. So we don't trade FESX itself, but we do use it as a guide. All right, again, overall from the week, huge, big sell-off coming over onto the daily chart. And you can see the big gaps down here, big gap downs as well. All right, we're starting to run back up. 4-hour chart, it's come off some Fibonacci really nicely. We can start to see that stair step long again. This one, when it opened, it didn't really open straight into longs. It opened more into sells. It pushed up a little bit and has been selling since. So maybe that's what's dragging FDAX back down. Okay, so maybe it wants to come back lower and test these 76s or test the same area where we failed yesterday. You can see here, I've drawn a Fibonacci up to catch them on the way down. It might want to honor that. Now, if it doesn't honor it, I think it's going to fall a lot harder, probably come down to these 76s. Daily markets, you can just see it's sort of honored, but it sort of started going between these two levels for a while. Okay, so potentially it's going to be attracted to come back to that area as well. Okay. Minute chart. Not too much to add. But yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if it does come all the way down to here around 5,800 on FESX, which will drag DAX with it. Now, it could have just come down, pushed into some resistance, taken out some stops on the 5-minute chart, and now want to swing back long. We'll just have to wait and see how it wants to open. All right. All right, guys. So that is us done. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to switch my cameras off now, just because I noticed, particularly last week, what was happening was it was sort of straining my bandwidth a bit and slowing down the charts. Now, I don't know if that's just because it's a Bali thing or if it's a bandwidth thing on my end. We do have some quite, I think, big storms approaching, which can slow down the internet as well. So, okay. At the end of the day, I'm here to guide you. So I just want to give you the best possible experience, and that you don't really need to see my face. All right, I'll be back in one moment. I'm just going to fill up my water, use the restroom. All right. All right, boys and girls, or whatever pronouns you use. If you're just joining us, you're going to find out I'm very blunt. Okay, team, we still have about 7 minutes to go. So just a reminder for everyone, and if you're new here, if you have any questions, please send them through. In the live trading room, we always prioritize profit first and education second. So just adjusting some fibs. So if you do have a question, team, send it through. I'll do my best to answer it. Now, if I don't answer it straight away, please don't be offended, because like I said, we do prioritize profit. So I'm probably trying to help traders get in or out of a trade. And I'll get to your question when I can. If I forget or haven't answered it for a while, then please just send it through again. I'm not ignoring you. If you are part of Samurai, we do have our hub meeting tonight, running through all the indicator modifications and what's to look forward to. Okay, where are my extensions? So I have a 60-minute one here. From here, because it honored it really well yesterday. It honored at 1618 and it's come back up. So I've left it on. And then I've also got the larger 4-hour one or daily one. So I've just drawn it like this. Same as yesterday. Because look where it came to. Just beautiful. All right, that's all I've got on. In fact, I could probably take that 60-minute one off, to be honest. Yeah, the 61 worked well for a bit. Just it held it up there. It held up a little bit on the 1618. It came back to the 141. All right, back to the 100. I probably don't need it actually anymore. I'll get rid of it. Now I have drawn my 4-hour down to catch them on the way up in case they do run. But if they start free falling, then I can quickly adjust that as well. All right, a few minutes to go. So if you have any questions, just send them through. Like I said, opening candle, I'm not liking the pre-bottom reversal at the moment, just because this candle is making that. So we're already forming it. This here. Okay. What you can do is we do fall down. You've got 276s here, so you've got a larger daily one. Much, much larger one, which it honored well yesterday. Okay. But you've also got, you could call it a 15-minute or a 60-minute one, sitting just there as well. There's also the previous 60-minute low sitting amongst that region. So those purple 76s look a nice place for it to potentially reject. Now, if it does shoot up to the high side, the 50 does offer potential reversal point. I'd be a little bit careful with the volatility. Wait for a pre-top failure. Now, I want it to push through, get rejected before going short. Okay, because if it wants to break that, there's a good chance it's going to go to the gap at some stage. If we close above, the open, we're actually going to get a nice reversal candle on the opening candle, but it needs to get above the PP in the open, which I just don't know if it's going to do that today. Okay. All right, 36 seconds to go. So we'll wait and see. Now, if we fall down to the pre-bottom, it's a better trade because we've got some distance to it and some failure. All right, so we are off and racing. It's failed at that 50 already, so if you do get a higher high, you can go short. Usually we wait for the first minute to go through and for the candle to go climactic, which is a change of color. Just like this previous candle changed color. It went from green to that mustard green. That one just went from red to a dirty gold. If it goes the other way, it'll be a dirty green as well, which just means there's an excessive amount of orders in this candle compared to the previous few candles in the market. Okay. So pushing up, there's a potential short underneath that 50 if that is your style of trade. The safer trade is going to be waiting for it to come up to the pre-top or the 76s just because it has already pushed into that and failed once. So you'd ought to be on now. You want this to go quite quickly. FESX looks like it's pushing down. So now FDAX, you're through 5s if you did take that trade, and you're through 10s or more. So that was that higher high and short, which is what we like. The first time it failed and went short, which is good. I did have a caveat saying, be careful because it has already failed there. But once we got the higher high and failed, you could have gone. Now that we're pushing down, I wouldn't take an open and PP reversal. PP stands for previous pivot. I'd wait for a lower low on the pre-bottom or wait for it to push into these 76s and you can either go long off them or inside the pre-bottom just because we want conviction that it has failed and is going to come back the other way. All right. All right. So I think we just hold off now. At the last 90 seconds, we don't take a trade. But I'm going to call it a bit earlier. I think we just leave this one now because we probably will get that lower low. The risk is that towards the end of the candle, it can just start to just roll one way or just not behave as it normally does. So that is the lower low we wanted, but we want that preferably inside the first 3.5 minutes. See that it might come down to those 76s and bounce. So we're going to wait. Now, if it closes like this or above the if it closes above the pre-bottom, a lower low, you can go off the 76s or the pre-bottom. If it closes below the pre-bottom, you can go for a lower low and long off the 76s. Now, if it closed strong below these two, all right, the only way you can take a trade is if it pushes down first, and then we are going to get climactic reversal. So a push down first and then long above the opening price. If it closes really, really strong, maybe it's best to stay out. You've got FESX pushing into its pre-bottom. So that might hold it up, which is annoying because look, that bounce off that 76 has worked really well. If this gets below, do we have any extensions? That's a pretty aggressive sell, to be honest. Let me just check extensions because this might be one that we just leave. Okay, there's nothing else there. Okay, it might be best to stay out of this one. This could just melt now. FESX into its pre-bottom. We got that 50 there that we had on earlier, so it may bounce there. It's gone within a point and bounced off it really nicely. I'm just going to have to readjust some Fibonacci's now. So if it wants to keep falling, I want to know what we're falling to. Okay. Last 90 seconds, so we just wait and see how this candle closes. Yep, that's drawn on there, mate. Okay, let's see how this closes. If FESX closes inside its pre-bottom, you could actually look for a push down, a low, and then a long. Now, it's not off a pivot, so it's going to carry a little bit more risk. Okay. It's not going to give us a short signal, so I can't send you short. I can only send you long after a push down first. All right. Waiting. So probably didn't push down low enough for any traders to get on the long. Zoom link. Yeah, me too. Lockie, if you're able to, or if someone's able to, can you go on the YouTube and put the Zoom link in? Or contact Jack Jasprizza. He's looking for the Zoom link. Thank you, mate. Um, yeah, but it's going to have so much risk. Now there's a higher high, it might swing short, so we might be better off waiting for another one. Okay, Lockie's sending you the link now. All right, thank you, mate. All right. So this is going to be a ratio-based static bar reversal long. My only concern is the buyers have done a lot of work and created a higher high. So with that higher high, it's actually enticing sellers to come in and push it down further. Now, what's going to be the key here to this is FESX holding above this level. If it holds above this level, there is potential reversals, meaning we might be getting longs. If it falls below that level, closes below, then I think it will continue to sell down. FDAX, another option, is a lower low and long, depending on your trading plan. All right, so you need to push down first before going long. So there's that push down. I preferred the lower low, but it made a little lower, like a lower low, but it did make a little one, which means now it may want to swing back to the high side. Okay. No worries, guys. Yeah, way too quick. All right. Again, let's see how this closes. We could be getting a strong long setup. Otherwise, it could just fall because we've got that higher high. It's back into what we call a pivot, pre-bottom being one of those. It's pushed in there and failed, and it might just want to rocket short. We're just going to have to wait and see what FESX does. There is a previous Toby. If it closes above the pre-bottom, the issue is going to be the risk. Thank you. Yep. So potentially that's why it's failing. And that's why we wait. This look like a strong buying candle. It still is a strong buying candle. You can get a push down first and go off the body, which reduces the risk. However, the strike rate is less. Success rate is less on that trade. Otherwise, we just stay tight. There's going to be some people who look for a higher high and a short off the premium. Well done, Greg. Thanks for coming in. I was just about to say this. That little push down now gives you permission to go long, and it looks like it's done it. Big arm wrestle here. Okay, what are we going to get here? Not a whole lot we can do with this. Unless it pushes right down and we can get into a long. Yeah, it's a real nothing one, isn't it? Might just go sideways now. All right. Yeah, it's going to depend now on FESX. If it gets below that pre-bottom, I think it'll melt. And if it wants to keep bouncing off that, then we might end up seeing some longs. But this is looking potentially really, really short. Potential lower OSR long. Oh, it's just hit that again and bounced. Wow. I just got to quickly turn on and off. Sorry. Sometimes what happens is I put an order on, I cancel the order, flatten it, but it stays on my chart. And even though it's not active, it's very, very distracting. Okay, oof, big hit there. I think. Oh, it's really hard to say. All right. FESX is going to close below its pre-bottom, I think. And it's got a very strong candle short. FDAX has a strong candle short. The issue is it's going straight into where it's failed before. 2 deltas short, which means there is some selling in the market. So if it wants to push up and go short, it may just bolt. FESX looks extremely short. There you go. Like I said, it may just bolt down this one. Oof. Potentially reverse now. Wow. This is jumpy. Wowee, what a candle. So some would have picked up the short there, the double V2 delta, and then some would have picked up the long off the OSR or the 133. Well done. All right, we're just waiting for this one to close. Um, Again, there's that high, so it's struggling to get above that level again. It keeps pushing in there and failing. Um, it's really hard for me to send you long, guys. A push down, you can look to take this V3, but the risk is so high on that trade. A higher high again, you can go short under the pre-bottom. It's now failed there once, twice, three times, be a fourth time. Eventually, these levels aren't going to hold. All right. So after about three times, I'm starting to err on the side of caution. That doesn't mean it's not going to go. Okay. But eventually, basically, the buyers are pushing up, the sellers are hitting them. Buyers push up, sellers hit. Buyers push up, sellers hit. Now they've hit them again here. So there's still a lot of sellers sitting up here. The issue is eventually there's not going to be enough sell orders to push this back down. So one or two things are going to happen. It's going to push up, fail, and then the sellers are just going to overwhelmingly, the buyers have run out of energy to try and push long, and now it's just going to tumble down. Or it's going to keep trying to push up, and eventually there's no sell orders left to hold it up, and it'll just go the other way. So at the moment, we're very, very sideways. Still here, guys. All right. Uh, yeah, not much we can do. Can't see any long back into a pivot. The shorts aren't too appetizing. Just trying to figure that out. Sellers have the step. Yep. Um, Oscar, it depends on what you trade for starters and what you feel comfortable doing. So for me, because I trade FDAX, FDAX moves best in the European session or London session, as you'd call it. So for me, that's the best. Now for Nasdaq and S&P 500, that moves really well in the European, the London session as well, but it's extremely volatile in the US session, especially the opening of the US session and the close of the US session. So the first sort of hour and a half of the US, and the last couple of hours before it shuts off. There's lots and lots of opportunities there. Now, sometimes it's too volatile for people, and but some people also like that. But I would say in the US sessions, other markets don't move as well. So if you like the US volatility or that time zone, you're pretty much should only trade really the US. What are they called? US markets, US derivatives. That would be my answer to that. Europe allows you to sort of trade both Europe and US. And then gold at the moment works really well in Asia. Works a little bit in the US in the European session. It can sometimes work okay. The volume is okay. Some days good, some days okay. But at the moment, gold's really good in the US sessions and in Asia, particularly the start of Asia, which I think for you is probably going to be a little bit too early in the morning if you're in Europe. All right. So last 15 minutes, we don't trade. Reason being is we found, I think it was around 80% of our losses came in the last 15 minutes of the hour. So we just said, right, no more trading in the last 15 minutes. That happened many, many years ago, BC, before Cody. So if you have any questions, now is the best time to ask. If you need me to go through anything, just let me know. We are moving very, very sideways. Oof. Yeah, fair enough. Last 10 minutes, no trades here, team. Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right. Just waiting, waiting, waiting. Yep. Okay. Interesting to see if this swings shorts now under that after that higher high, or continue going long. Gap up. Nothing really we can do with this candle. Oh, still 5 minutes to go. I thought this was the turn of the hour candle. No. That was very wrong. Just have to wait this out now. And see what we get. Both running into a little bit of traffic, but if there's enough momentum, this will just burst and run. Just like that. Into a little bit of traffic now. FESX, I think it's going to really depend on what you want to do. Because if you close over your pre-top, you will probably run and drag FDAX with you. Now, FDAX, we may be getting a OSR reverse. If it closed underneath, push up, you can go short. There's a few things in the way there, but I'd want FESX below its pre-top as well. I'd prefer them to be in sync. We have absolute confidence that it will fall, just because it is quite... Oh, this is very strong buying. So I don't think we're taking shorts. The next short may be off the pre-top. The long is going to carry probably a bit too much risk for most traders, unless you get a push down to, say, the upper OSR and go long over the top. didn't quite get probably a big enough retrace. If you are long, you're probably already out, but I'd say the risk is too much for most people. So may not have retraced far enough for people. The risk is probably way too high for a lot of traders, so which is totally fine. Everyone's different. Everyone has different styles. Okay, FSX. I'm going to draw some other fibs on for you. FDAX, where could you be going? So the pre-top, looks like the pre-top reversal went about 10s. Okay, we can get that one off. I don't know if I'd take it again. Sorry, it went 5s maybe. There's going to be largest 76s up here. Unless you like gap 76s, which it's just entering now. But this is strong buying, so I'd probably wait for the gap reversal right up the top. And I'm just trying to readjust some things. Okay, that looks good. Okay. Maybe it is the gap one it's playing with. Maybe was it these ones? It's hard to tell. There's a few spots it could be messing around at. Either way, if it pushes up into them on the new candle, you can look to take a short. It's kind of, I don't want to say in the middle of nowhere, but it is a 76 fade. It's not off a pivot, so we just have to be a little bit careful. You probably want to push up first. before taking the order. I'd like a higher high. I'd like it to push through and fail because this just could continue going to the downside. Like so. Could continue going to the high side, I meant, not downside. So you want that convincing failure. Could be a potential gap reversal if that's your style. Again, it's going to be safer to let it hit, go through before putting your order on. So we are rocketing. Next reversal point would be yesterday's high. Just going to have to flip some fibs around. Single touch is okay. I'd probably wait for a static candle. So I'd wait for this candle to close actually first. And we are running. Oh, I wish we were long. Where are we going? Who knows? We've closed the gap. Took off. And it did it quite early. So I wonder if something has come out. So it started moving 5 minutes before the hour. Oh, the news was really positive. Like really positive. So they were expecting -1% in unemployment rate, and they got 0.6%. So even though it was Italian news, yellow flag, because it was such a big difference in predicted and actual, that may be what has spiked it. I'm also going to check other sources. There you go. Thank you, mate. Which is good news, I think. I don't know anymore. I don't know what's good and what's bad. Okay, so we may get strong reversals here. We've closed over the pivot, so I can't send you short. I can't really send you long with that risk either, so All right. Not much I can do here. It looks like the American markets have also just taken off. So where are we heading? Maybe up into this vicinity. 24,500. Okay. So if this closes under, we could end up with really nice shorts. Okay, 15 minutes to go. Just have to disconnect and reconnect. This sometimes happens. Yeah, it is a long way away. There's the big shorts occurring. We thought about static bar reversal. We had a pivot in a way, so I don't know if many were able to take that. Ratios were incredible. Straight back into a pivot. So I completely understand if you didn't take it, but you could have taken it once we had the V3, both markets. So essentially what's happened is big climactic. We've essentially overbought the market, and now it's going to make a bit of a correction. I don't know how far. It could just be a small correction here, lower low, then want to continue long. Or it could just be a big meltdown back to sort of within the range it was trading at before, or sort of where we started from. But that could be it now. Now it might want to swing long. I have to wait and see. Yeah. Oh, if you got Remy's voice in your ear, I feel sorry for you, mate. If that's stuck in your head. Yeah, it would have been nice if we had a little bit more of a retrace, but sometimes when you get this big bolt, you get like a knee jerk reaction, like a really fast reaction. So it just doesn't give you the chance. So we may end up with a 4 point turning bar, which is a very strong reversal signal. The issue is going to be the risk. Looking at over 40 points. A retrace would be really nice, and then to pick up a higher V3. Otherwise, outside the range is going to have a lot of risk. You need FESX to get below its yesterday's high and gap. Now, this strong retrace is actually favoring the longs now. Funnily enough. So if we close above, so we're not going short. Just so we're clear, we cannot go short. I can't send you short back into that pivot, which is really unfortunate because it came back up to a nice entry price. Oof, this is some news. So please, guys, take all orders off. This is super jumpy. So this is still on the back, I believe, of what Lockie was talking about. So I'd say there's negotiations now between the US and Iran, and something else has come out. Basically, Iran said we'll abandon the nuclear program that under the condition that the US makes a lucrative offer. So potentially there's more news that has come out of that we haven't seen yet. And this is exactly what I said in the pre-market, guys. Just be really careful today. We could get some unexpected news. So the last candle of the session coming up. Now there is a Toby short underneath the candle. Just be careful because it's going to be really jumpy. The risk is quite high. You're looking over 60 points. If you go between the true failure point, you're looking at closer to 70. But it is setting up potential shorts. You need a retrace first, a rejection, and a slapping. You just want this to melt really quick. like that. So if you did go under the candle, retrace and rejection, you're nearly on track for 20s already, but your risk could come in now because it's touching that gap. So well done, guys. Nice finish to the session. We didn't get too much at the. We got a little bit at the start. I think we had to be really quick. I think we got one here at the start. We got the lower low there. And then we had to wait right to the end. To get those trades. All right, I can hear in the background. Hello, hello.
You can hear, yeah. How are you, Cody?
I can hear in the back. Yeah, good. It was a interesting session, to say the least.
I was checking the stream and all I heard was you telling guys to be careful, and then I checked the charts and then I saw the huge green candles, extreme volatility, and then I realized, okay, something is going on.
Yeah, so early on we didn't get too many opportunities. We had to be really patient. A couple of traders maybe picked up these ones early on. Majority didn't, and then we waited. So there's been big news coming out of Iran, which is what stimulated this massive buy, and we just were really patient. And then a couple of traders were actually able to pick up some really high percentage shorts, and it paid them very quickly. So I think it just shows patience pays. You don't have to. It's nice when you get paid in the first 5 minutes, but we just waited an hour and a half for the perfect setups, or over an hour, and we got paid really quickly on those ones. So,
how many trades did you enter?
I would say between 2 to 4 trades for the day. Yeah, not too many opportunities. There was a couple of other ones here, but we weren't super confident just because of the volatility in the market. So 2 to 4, I would confidently call, and then maybe there was an additional 2 or 3 for advanced traders.
Honestly, considering the current situation, 2 to 4 trades is a pretty good result, I think.
Yeah, and the 2 winners went, paid really well too. So it's good.
Yeah, great. I'm very happy to hear that. So I think at this point we're gonna end the stream. The last information from me for everyone watching is that right now we have a TTP anniversary campaign. TTP turns 4 years old. Imagine, we are already 4 years old. And there are a lot of nice things where in our prop firm we launched a brokerage arm. We are multi-asset, we have CFDs, futures and stocks, and we are 4 years in the market, which is pretty awesome. So because of that, we have a campaign which is 20% off on all challenges. You can use code TTP turns 4, TTP turns 4. The code is valid for all challenges, minus 20% off. The campaign ends by the end of Sunday. So for everyone willing to use this opportunity, you can use code TTP turns 4 and celebrate the anniversary together with us. Cody, at this point, you have any final words for the guys?
No, I think just be careful with your trading at this time, guys, and also just sending out a lot of love to everyone around the world, and obviously to your extended family and friends who may be in some difficult times.
Yep, exactly. This is super true, and from our side, everyone who is affected, stay safe, and we wish everything to come back to normal as fast as possible.
Yes.
Great. Thanks everyone for joining
Awesome.
the live stream. It was really nice. And thank you, Cody, for guiding the audience. As usual, very, very big thanks to guys from Samurai for conducting these live streams and sharing their experience. And we will see each other next week.
Yes. Yes. I think
Thanks,
Lockie
everyone.
might be back on the mic. So thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.